Good morning, Abram and Brett. I'm adding you guys as panelists. And Mary Jane, are you the representative for BSL, Mary Jane Muir?
I'm the representative for street services.
And I'm the representative for street lighting.
Thank you so much. I apologize. I didn't catch who stated that they were the rep for street services. Is
Okay.
that Abram?
Yeah,
Right?
this is me, and I'm the representative for street services.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for confirming that. Okay, I see some folks raising their hands. I see a TV. If you could please press *6 to unmute yourself and identify if you're here to submit public comment or what item you'd like to comment on. User TV. User TV, if you could unmute if you're calling by phone, or if you're using a device, if you could unmute yourself and identify what item. Is that Commissioner Villegas? I apologize. User 34503, if you could please press *6 to unmute and identify what item you want to comment on, or if you'd like to offer public comment. User 3503.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Paul Bingaman. I'm presenting for Street Services Resurfacing on behalf of Gary Brandt.
Got it. I'm going to rename you, Paul, and then I will change your role to panelist. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Ted. I've changed your role to panelist. Good morning. Okay, I see call-in user 1. Call-in user 1, if you could please press *6 to unmute and let me know what item, or if you'd like to offer public commentary.
Good morning. I'm a stakeholder, and yes, I would like to make general public comment.
May I ask your name, ma'am, for the record?
I'm a stakeholder.
Stakeholder. Okay. Thank you, stakeholder. When we get to public commentary, I will call you. I will ask you to unmute at that time, and you can offer. You'll have 2 minutes to offer public commentary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, again, welcome. Good morning. My name is TJ Knight. I'm Assistant Executive Officer, and I'm just scanning the panelists for all of our commissioners. I do see Commissioner Corissan, Commissioner Villegas, VP Villegas, Commissioner Reyes, President Garcia. I believe we are only waiting on Commissioner Davis. And we should be starting in the next 3 to 5 minutes.
Thank you, TJ. Good morning, everyone. Yes. Do you want, there's Dr. Davis. I see him. TJ, whenever you're ready, I think we have all commissioners here now.
Okay. Dr. Davis, if you could please test your mic. I'm not seeing you on the attendee list, in the participant list.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me? You hear
Yes.
me? Mhm.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Oh, I think because we have to rename Dr. Davis.
Is he AG right now?
Yes.
Okay. I'll rename you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, President.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Yes, we can start whenever you're ready, President Garcia. Let me record. It looks like we are recording.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, TJ. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, September 16, 2022. TJ?
Good morning, Madam President Garcia. TJ Knight, Assistant Executive Officer, taking role in establishing quorum. President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioners Corsand and Reyes are present. We do have a quorum. We are also joined by City Attorney Representative Mr. Ted Jordan. Again, I'm Assistant Executive Officer TJ Knight. President Garcia, we have 2 speaker cards under public comments and no neighborhood council commentary. And we have 1 speaker card on item 7 and 1 speaker card on item 8.
Thank you for that, TJ. We can take public comment now.
Very good. So we have, let me get to the attendees. We have Dr. Tom Williams. If you would please unmute, press *6, and you have 2 minutes to offer your public commentary.
Hello, good morning. Dr. Tom Williams, President of Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community. Speaking primarily, I need to find out when the Black Walnut is going to be protected by the Department of Public Works against the LA Fire Department, Department of City Planning, and maybe incorporate the Department of Building and Safety. An MOU would be nice, or an MOA, either one. So that's my first comment. Second comment, right now, oil and gas wells are a major issue at both the state, county, and city levels. However, I don't know what's happening in the city confines. So I'd like to have the Petroleum Administrator, Erica Blyther, to contact me or provide an update as to what the Department of Public Works is going to be doing. There are historic aerial photographs for all of the wells in Los Angeles. So the Department of City Planning uses those historic aerial photographs to identify hazardous areas, and they should be used by the Department of Public Works. In addition, the CalGEM has money to abandon wells, and they want people to provide them with a list of wells, idle, orphan, whatever you want to call them, so that they can abandon them properly. However, here's one thing that even the city of Carson felt was interesting. They're not orphans. There is no orphan well. There are wells that have no operators and no drillers operating
2 minutes
right now. Yep.
2 minutes.
And
Thank you.
you need to get with them to deal with the subsurface property owners who own all of the orphan wells. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. We have another public commentary. Speaker or caller stakeholder. Caller stakeholder, if you would please press *6 to unmute, and you'll have 2 minutes to offer your public commentary.
Good morning. Yes, I'm a stakeholder. Recently, I was in attendance at a meeting and later for a different matter. And later on, there was a matter of a ADA compliance issue. And I thought, understandable. City of LA has 80, 90-year-old buildings. Certainly issues come up occasionally. This was not the case. This was to add a ADA compliant ramp to a just completed tiny home village. I understand during the state of emergency, development projects are expedited, but disabled community existed prior to the state of emergency and should be considered during the state of emergency for these projects. And it's one case, I think not. Just earlier this week, there was a report on a completed tiny home village that there were delays to the project due to ADA compliance issues. I don't know what that is within the industry, but as a stakeholder, as a resident, when it's mentioned in that way, that a delay due to ADA compliance, it comes off, the optics are, these were not even disability rights were not even part of the planning. Again, it's just part of the optics. It may be part of the industry, but we live in a woke society in which terminology is changing on a minute-by-minute basis. So I would appreciate, as future tiny home village and any other project, that ADA compliance is part of the planning, which I thought it already was, and not the building is completed. Oh, let's see, can a wheelchair come through this door? Can a wheelchair access this new site? Thank you for your time and consideration. Remember, LA is having an Olympic, Paralympic Games. The influx of the disabled community will be in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, stakeholder. That's all of our public commentary this morning, President Garcia.
Great, thank you, TJ. As of now, we will close general public comment and moving on to our first item of today's business, which is the approval of the minutes for Friday, September 2nd, 2022. Is there a motion on the table to move this item forward and forthwith?
So move.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. TJ, there's a first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move the approval of the minutes for Friday, September 2nd, 2022, forward and forthwith.
Very good, thank you, President Garcia. We'll tabulate the votes beginning with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
Thank you. And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Thank you. All ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great, thank you, TJ. All right, colleagues, moving on to today's agenda. And before we start with all of that, happy Friday. It is Friday now and excited to start the weekend. Hope everybody has nice and lovely plans for this coming weekend. So with that, we start with Ms. Quiñones. Good to see you. It's always good to see you, knowing that you are here for something very impactful for our community. So I'm gonna read it into the record and then I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you.
This is item number 1, a request from the Bureau of Engineering in Council District 1. This is a revised construction budget and emergency change order number 2, Ford EC, Council District number 1, Cypress Homeless Housing Project, recommending the board to 1, authorize $550,000 in additional contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $609,625 for Council District number 1, Cypress Homeless Housing Project, and 2, authorize the city engineer to issue emergency change order number 2 to Ford EC for a not to exceed amount of $550,000 for the project to remove the upper 3 feet of soil, import certified fill, and compact the soil to reduce.
This morning's report is to request a revised budget and issue an emergency change order number 2 to Ford. We did request emergency authorization from Commissioner Villegas on August 8th, so the work is currently ongoing. We awarded the project on April 20th. It is an emergency shelter, providing interim beds for 130 people within 34 modular units. The emergency change order, as read by President Garcia, is a not to exceed $550,000. The work includes to remove 3 feet of soil all across the site, which is about 36,000 square feet, to import soil, import certified soil and compact to reduce potential settlement. The solution will facilitate this temporary this facility. The construction of the temporary housing is anticipated to be in place for 5 years. It is a fair compromise with building and safety. The site, as you read in the report, has 16 feet of fill. 3 feet of fill was what we agreed upon based on the fact that this is a temporary shelter. And our geotech group and building and safety agree that this will definitely mitigate any possible settlement within 3 to 5 years. The project is funded with CTIEP funds, and it's anticipated to complete construction in February. That concludes my report. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Quinones, for that report. Colleagues, any questions for Marina? None. I think we're just excited about getting another home done. So thank you, Marina, for all your efforts that you do. I don't have any questions myself either. All right. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 1 forward and forthwith?
So move.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas.
Second.
Second, Dr. Davis. TJ, we have a first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Yes, very good. And we'll take a roll call vote. We'll tabulate the vote beginning with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
And Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand. Aye. Thank you. And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Marina. That was easy.
Yes, it was. I have 2 other items, so I'll stick around. Thank
Okay,
you.
stick around. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 2. This is a revised task order in Council District 1. Task order number 01-0112-012A and budget increase, AECOM Technical Services, Inc., Fire Station number 3 project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of task order number 01-012A to AECOM Technical Services, Inc., increasing the budget authority from $409,656 to $559,656, including contingency for continued semi-annual groundwater monitoring, reporting, pilot study, work plan development, and related disposal services for the Fire Station number 3 project. And who do we have here today?
Hello, my name is Mike Mulhern. I'm with the Geotechnical Engineering Division of BOE. Good morning, Madam President.
Good morning, Mr. Mulhern. Yes, we know you very well. Welcome.
Yes. This site is one of our underground tank cleanup sites that are remaining from the many we've gotten closure over the years. We're asking for authorization to spend another $150,000 for 1 more semester of groundwater monitoring to take us through the end of this contract. And as you mentioned, there's a pilot study for a biosparging remediation system that is due to the state. All of this work is due to the mandate of the State Water Quality Control Board. So we're trying to keep in their good graces by staying abreast of all their requirements. And it also includes related disposal services of soil and wash water that is generated during the study. That's about it, really. We're trying to keep up on our business inclusion participation program, and we're doing very well on minority and women business enterprises on that regard. And that's about all I have, unless there are questions.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mulhern, for your report. Any questions, colleagues? See none. Wow. We're in a good. I just have a quick question. What are we doing at the fire station? Are we developing it? Are we improving? Or are we building a new fire station?
No, it is an existing fire station, but a tank leaked in the past. That tank has been removed, but there was residual groundwater and soil contamination. So have been addressing that according to state guidelines for the last couple of years. And we hope to, with this new biosparging remediation system, hope to bring this to case closure within about a year.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much. All right, colleagues, is there a motion on the table to move item number 2 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
I'll take a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Reyes, if that's okay with both of you. TJ, we have a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Reyes to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
That's very good. We'll tabulate the vote beginning with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Very good. The item is adopted and carries forthwith. All ayes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Mr. Mohan. I don't know if you're here for another item, but if you're not, have a good weekend. And thank you for helping us with this project as well.
Well, thank you for the board's support. I'll be leaving then.
All right. Well, this is a short one for you. There you go. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you again.
All right. All right. Moving on to item number 3. This is a request from the Bureau of Sanitation in all council districts. Personal Service Contract, California Department of Transportation, Caltrans, Keep LA Clean, free bulky item drop-off events. Recommending the board to 1, approve a service agreement with Caltrans to provide Keep LA Clean free bulky item drop-off events at the city's transfer station and various solid waste district yards within the city of Los Angeles from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2024. And 2, authorize the president or 2 commissioners and the director of the Bureau of Sanitation or designate to execute the proposed agreement subject to approval by the mayor. And we have a good round of folks here. Nat, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while.
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
We sure can. And Mr. Shin, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, President, Commissioners, City Attorney, Bureau Representatives, and Executive Officer. My name is Nat Isaac. I am the Project Manager for the City of LA Bulky Item Program for the past 5 years. And my co-presenter today is Mark Shin, Manager for the Solid Resources Collection Division. And we're here today to request your approval of a service agreement for a 2-year program with California State Department of Transportation, known as Caltrans. The service agreement was previously brought before the board on August 24th. And it was approved by the board on August 24th. However, due to a technical mistake, the draft service agreement containing the word draft, a draft watermark, and an older board report missing the 6 words forwarding it to the mayor's office for ED3 review were erroneously missing. And that was uploaded to the prime.gov website by mistake. So I'm here today to present you with the corrected version of both service agreement and board report for the project. We thought maybe we'd do this as an admin item, but I don't know if it can be done. But nevertheless, I'm here to present this to you. Would you like me to review the project again, or do you recall the discussion we had before?
I'll leave that to my colleagues. I'm pretty familiar with this this program. Colleagues, do you want to hear the description of the program once again? I was going to ask that because I remember we just had this not so long ago. I was hoping you were coming here to tell me that you were going to increase the free bulky item drop-off events. I was going to sign up on that right now. So I was, thinking, you're going to add 2 more days to it. Great. That's not the case. Colleagues, do you want to hear the description of the program? If you do, just raise your hand and we'll go through it again. I'm not hearing that. So you're just technically here for 2 technical corrections that were not, that we did not capture before on August 24th. And you can't move forward.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right. I didn't tell you that it was a mistake on it, and there should have been a forwarded to the mayor's office for ED3 review, and that should have been included on the board report itself. Okay. And then, of course, the service agreement that requires your commissioner's signatures had the draft watermark on it, and that was removed.
Got it. Okay, fair enough, Mr. Isaac. I know you're doing a great job on this. And Dr. Davis.
Yes, I remember the detailed report given to us before. And again, I feel that it's really a great complement to what we do in the city to have the state's support of our distribution of bulky item facilities or centers. My question to you is that as you develop the schedule of various locations where you will be doing bulky item locations, can we make sure that we get an opportunity to see that list? Obviously, the concern is to make sure that we have them as geographically convenient as is humanly possible, particularly in the underserved areas where obviously there is a lot of need for bulky items. So with that, I know you have to do your work, but it would be great to know that we could have some feedback in terms of the various locations we might be able to agree upon with Caltrans.
So we have designated the locations behind me on the my background: the East Valley District Yard, West Valley District Yard, Harbor District Yard, over here, West LA District Yard, and the Central LA Recycling and Transfer Station as the drop-off locations for this program. We would produce a flyer similar to this one that you see behind me, and on it will be a mention of the district in conjunction with the district office that this project will be done.
How might the residents in South Los Angeles participate in the program?
So Mark, would you like to address that part for the Central LA transfer?
Yes. Well, they can, of course, take it to the Central LA Recycling and Transfer Station, also known as Clark's. That is located at 2201 East Washington Boulevard.
Mm-hmm. And so that's in what area?
That is just below the 10th freeway.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's about 5 minutes away from the Public Works Building.
Got it. Okay.
On the northern part of the South LA district.
Correct. And of course, we also have the Harbor District as well if they want to travel south.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's the Harbor District right there. Harbor is at 1400 North Gaffey Street, so we have both ends of the South LA district covered.
Sure. Thank you for that information.
Thank you. You know, Mr. Isaac, do you guys do any outreach or do heavy outreach in any of our apartment or heavy apartment areas? That seems to be one of the most inundated with bulky items at times.
So the manner in which we're going to be distributing information is done through our public relations group, public outreach group, which is using social media and the websites for distribution of information. That does reach out to all the residential customers as well as apartment owners. So it's not specifically by mail. It's not done specifically for apartments or for houses, but it's rather a general population approach.
Okay. I'll talk to the PA's office about maybe increasing some of this awareness. It's such a good program and it's something that more folks should really take advantage of. So I just want to make sure that we have a fair chance. And given that at times during the heavy apartment areas, there is a lot of, that's where you can see a lot of the bulky items being left outside. Just making sure that they also know to call 311 or to make sure that they can take it to these free bulky item events area. So I'll talk to the PA's office on making sure that we do a little bit more promotion on this one.
Right. These are the flyer. The flyer is basically the one behind me is what we're going to use to advertise that information. So that is part of the process of the project with Caltrans is that we're going to produce flyers or educational materials to provide to the residents.
Great. Thank you for that. Yes, and also in Spanish, hopefully. Commissioner Reyes.
I think one of the things we could do is because we have data as to where bulky items are picked up, especially when we pick them up at alleys and neighborhoods. So we can use that data so that then we can have a deeper outreach in those communities because that's where the problems lie, right? So use the data as much as we can penetrate that community with the information, work with community-based organizations in those areas to communicate our message, just because, you know, we're sort of like limited in the way that we could, you know, really communicate this program. So make it more of a targeted effort then, because we have that data.
That's a good point.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we definitely love your program. You were back here again so we can ask a bunch of questions. All right, colleagues, is there a motion on the table to move item number 3 forward and forthwith?
So move.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. TJ, we have a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 3 forward and forthwith.
Very good. We'll tabulate the vote beginning with you, President Garcia,
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
All right, moving on to item number 4. This is in all council district. This is a request from the Office of Community Beautification. Request for qualifications and negotiate contracts, public right-of-way beautification services. Recommending the board to 1, distribute and release the transmitted request for qualifications for public right-of-way beautification services within the city of Los Angeles. 2, evaluate the RFQ submissions, select and interview the most qualified proposers who submits the best and most responsive proposal. 3, negotiate any proposed contract with the most responsive proposer subsequent to the receipt and objective review of all proposals submitted in response to the transmitted RFQ, and 4, return to the Board of Public Works for authority to award and execute contracts with a term period sufficient to complete the proposed project, subject to approval by the mayor. And we have here Ms. Devon Satorowski today. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Devon Zatorski with the Office of Community Beautification now. So OCB is bringing this RFQ before you today to distribute it via LA Ramp and ultimately create contracts that are clearly defined for the community beautification services that the Office of OCB is already doing. However, our goal with this and the intent of this RFQ is to really delineate and to clearly define categories of the work OCB does and hire and bring on more contractors. So currently, as you know, OCB does a variety of beautification services from graffiti abatement to litter pickup and everything in between, cleaning the public right of way. So our goal with this RFQ is to create specific service categories that proposers can submit their qualifications for and be evaluated by each service, with the intent of bringing on more nonprofit groups, more contractors, just more groups that can continue to get the work done, as there's a lot of work to be done in the city. And our current contracts, as I said, and as you know, we're already doing this work in OCB, but our current contracts we have right now are all lumped together with our graffiti services and kind of just everything in a basic just beautification overview. So our goal, like I said, of this is to really narrow down what contractors and what nonprofits are best at what services. And then that way we can get more on board and just continue to keep these services going, and really with the goal of continuing to work with nonprofits and continuing to keep LA clean and beautiful. By having the expansive list of contractors, we'll be able to keep these services going. So the categories specifically laid out in the RFQ, when proposers submit their qualifications, they can submit for 4 different categories. The first one is weed and litter abatement, which just, includes basic cleaning of overgrown areas in the right of way, trash removal, and can also include bulky item pickup. The next one is specific for tree planting. The next one is specific to the tree maintenance and watering of those trees after they're planted. And then the last category is the youth employment program, which we already utilize, but we want obviously some of our contractors and nonprofits use these youth employment and workforce services to do the work of the 3 other categories, the weed and litter abatement, the tree planting, and the tree maintenance. So like I said, we'll be creating these buckets that the contractors and nonprofits can specifically tell us what they're best at and what their specialty is. And we also plan to utilize the local business preference program because one of the main goals of OCB is to really work with local groups and keep local groups working in the areas they're in. So we plan to utilize the local business preference program that's run through the Bureau of Contract Administration, and also encouraged, and also in the RFQ, we'll be using the BIP program, which is the Business Inclusion Program, to encourage small business participation, minority-owned business participation, and women-owned business participation. Additionally, we did run the RFQ through the Office of the City Attorney, and they sent us their edits, and we have incorporated those into the transmitted RFQ, which is attached with the report. So that is my report, and I'm here, and Paul Roch is here to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you, Ms. Satorowski. I also had a hard time saying your name. Quick question. Don't worry, everybody chops up my name anyways. I'm so used to it. Is this your first time presenting?
I presented on the workforce equity demonstration with the LA Black Worker Center.
You did
this is my first time presenting. Now I'm technically an OCB, so my first time with OCB.
Got it. Well, you did a good job. Thank you for that. Any questions, colleagues?
I don't have any questions, but just comments. I'm glad to see us grow and develop in terms of economic development aspect of what we're doing in the beautification services. And I hope that not only will we utilize the young people, but that we will hopefully expand to including more of the nonprofits in the various areas of the city as well, so that those vendors will be a part of the community that they serve as well. And so ideally, to the extent possible, when we grow, we will be able to achieve that. So I think this is a great motion that you've brought before the board. And I think the results of this work will be of great benefit to the city.
Great, thanks, Commissioner Davis. Yeah, I forgot to actually mention in my report, with these new contracts, we are able to execute off this RFQ. Some of that money we received from the California for All grant, which helps support Clean LA and programs like River Rangers. That uses a lot of nonprofits who work in those specific areas. And
great.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Corson?
Thank you. I echo what Dr. Davis just said. I think focusing on having regional partners, especially nonprofit partners, is very key because it kind of evens it out and distributes city resources kind of more evenly. But second is, and I've heard this for years as it comes to grid providers, partners that work with OCB, is there a way to shorten the timeline on when nonprofits receive payment? And I'm not talking about this recently. I've been hearing this for several years that when it comes, and I can give you the name of the grid provider in Canoga Park separately, but sometimes it takes so long that it's not financially stable for them to continue to be a provider. So specific to this RFQ, is there a way to kind of expedite payment, shorten the payment period so they receive their payment sooner?
Who was going to chime in on this one?
I'll chime in and then let someone else chime in.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if at this point we have a great answer or not. Certainly our always goal is to make payment within 30 days of once the invoice is submitted up to accounting. Sometimes it takes a little while because an invoice might not be fully clean and needs some changes to it. It takes OCB sometimes a little while to go through the backup documentation. We try to get that done as quickly as possible. And typically, for the most part, but not always, accounting is able to make payment within that time period. I know that there was recent question about some invoices and some of the grid payments. I do just want to emphasize that the grid invoices are not part of OCB. They're not part of Public Works at all. So the delays that were with those were nothing to do with Public Works. But that's not to say that we within Public Works, you know, are not sometimes taking longer than our anticipated amount of time to pay invoices. And we know that right now, Office of Accounting is extremely inundated with invoices just from OCB. We have so many more invoices than we did, you know, a year or 2 years ago, with so many different programs and all the LAPD refunding. Each of those programs, you know, continue to submit invoices on a monthly basis. So it's a continual challenge. We look forward to continuing to try to, you know, find ways to get those payments out within a reasonable manner.
The only, I appreciate that response. The only thing I would add is, you know, I've heard it for over a decade from small businesses and others that working with the city comes with a lot of challenges. Getting paid is
Commissioner,
usually one of them.
We just to kind of clarify what we're voting for today. What we're voting for today is the constructing a pre-qualified list for and to increase our contractor pool within the OCB, you know, beautification type of services. I completely understand what you're saying, Commissioner. I think that we can talk offline on some of the efforts that we're trying to do constructively, because to mitigate that situation. And I do understand that, you know, that's kind of a reputation that has preceded us. But part of it is, like Mr. Paul Roch just said, sometimes we get tagged on that reputation, and there's a lot of different factors that come into play. For instance, sometimes the invoices are not done. Sometimes it's not even us, but we're being blamed. There's just a lot of things that we kind of do. And so the reason why we're bringing this is because our contractors that have been in place for many years have been kind of the same ones now for what, maybe 12, 15 years, Paul, about the same ones. And a lot of them I have now.
Yeah, even longer than that in some cases.
Yeah, and we're very thankful to them, and they have worked very well with the city for now more than, like you said, more than 10, 12, 15 years. But we do understand that times are really tough right now, and some of our nonprofits and our current contractors have reached their capacity of either projects or enrolling new employees, all of that. They reached their capacity. And it's also almost, you know, we are also increasing our capacity in beautification services as well. There's more now funding coming for that type of service now. And so we just want to increase all of that. And on the back end, Commissioner Person, if I would really, you know, we've been trying to really figure out how we can increase it. Last year, and I'm just going to say it because we did do it last year, we asked for an equity accountant during our budget deliberations, so that equity accountant or that accountant can be specifically assigned to contractors. We now have a 20 to 30 million portfolio in contracting services, and we really need somebody that's assigned to that. We're not successful in getting an accountant to be deliberate and dedicated to this funding source. And so we will try again next budget deliberations, and then we'll hopefully be able to get somebody that is really going to be focused on CBOs and contractor services and process their payments. And so we'll cross our fingers and reach out on any angle to make sure that we can get funding for an accountant that can really just oversee the payment process.
Right, because Commissioner, you do bring up a great point, because if we add more contractors, we're obviously adding more invoices to be processed on a monthly basis. And so by doing this, we are going to, you know, you're solving one problem by adding more contractors, but probably increasing another one, because we're going to be adding more invoices on a monthly basis that are going up to accounting and needing to be paid within
30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 days.
Right. I get all that. And where I was headed with this was more about giving you the platform to say that that commitment to making sure that they're paid within 30 days is still there, or finding a way to more speedily pay, because I think given the broader issues, there may be some hesitation to participate, and I don't want to see that. I would like to see more people participate, but addressing the big elephant in the room when it comes to this, I think is important, and just letting future participants know that it is on our mind, that it is something we're focused on, that we're not just letting it continue as it is, right? And I think that's where I was headed with my closing remark there. So it's good to hear that we're working on it, and we're headed towards some type of resolution where we can more speedily pay the outstanding invoices. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. And I do feel that you brought up a very good point. We're in a very infancy stage of trying to work out at least a digital format for invoice tracking. And hopefully that gets fleshed out soon. And so we'll be able to bring that to everybody and be able to at least make sure we know where the invoice is at, so that we can expedite it if it's not on a 30-day track thus far. Dr. Davis?
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm so glad that this issue was brought up, because what we do, and particularly contract administration, where I get an opportunity to work intensively, we hold the prime contractors accountable for paying their employees on time. Oh, yeah. And we request that they do it 30 days. And sometimes we get to the degree that there are consequences when they don't do it. Well, there comes a time when we look on the other side of the coin when we are contractors, such as in this case. We are contractors for the vendors that we organize, and we want to abide by, to the degree we can, the same standard that we hold our prime contractors to on another area of our business and service that we deliver. So I think that what makes us great is letting those who work for us, vendors, know that not only do we want to create opportunities for them to work with us, but that we value making sure that they get paid on time, kind of similar to what we do when we get paid as commissioners. We get paid on the 1st, and then we get it in another somewhere else in the month, and it usually comes on time. And so the same thing that we experience, our value is that we want others who work with us to experience the same thing. So I appreciate Corson's raising the issue. And I think that this is really a core value that makes us great when we work really hard to make sure that not only do we create employment opportunities, but that the practices we have are dependable and reliable, and such as the pay. So thank you for the issue.
Thank you to both of you. There's a good points to bring up. So getting us, any other questions, colleagues? Just to get us back to where we were, we're here to vote on putting together a request for qualification to negotiate contracts to provide services public right away. We about a couple of 2 weeks ago, Paul and I did a presentation hoping that we can increase the awareness for some nonprofits to for new and or nonprofit contractors that have never partnered with us to come on board. And so we're hoping that we can get a diverse set of CBOs from all throughout the city to be part of this request. Is there, okay, any questions, any comments, any objections?
Great program.
No, I'm excited for this too. I'm really excited to see what we can actually do. And Paul, just to confirm, and putting CBOs on a qualified list, when we have small projects or when we have discretionary funds coming to that, we'll be able to like contract on small project if needed.
Right. That's the idea. I mean, it would be, some of these would be regular, year-round type of projects, such as, say, Clean LA or Clean Streets or the tree planting or youth hiring. But it would also give us the opportunity when council offices provide discretionary funds or something like that for a very specific project, would be to say, yeah, we have a list of pre-qualified, vendors that are in your area. we can go to them and you know, drill down and figure out who's able to do it, who's able to give the best price, and then we already have the contract in place.
Correct. All right, that makes it super exciting as well. All right, colleagues, is there a motion on the table to move item number four forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. TJ, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
Very good. We'll tabulate the vote beginning with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas. I'm sorry, I saw your.
I was on mute. Aye.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Commissioner Corson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Thank you. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
And I'd be aye on that too. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, President Davis. Sorry, President
That's
Davis.
okay.
Sorry about that.
You just assume since I made the motion that I am an aye. You're correct.
All right. Well, thank you. This is a little, thank you, Dr. Davis, for that.
Yes.
So thank you, Devon, for your time, and thank you, Mr. Raj, for your time as well. And I appreciate everybody, my colleagues, questioning and comments about everything on this process. It's all very important, and I look forward to creating this list.
Good. Thanks, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good rest
Thank
of the
you.
week. Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 5. This is a joint report from the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration for Council District 9. This is a notice of intent and issue final payment to CS Legacy Construction, Inc., Tiny Home Village, Compton and Nevin project cancellation. Recommending the board to 1, concur with the notice of intent to not execute the contract with CS Legacy Construction, Inc. due to the City of Los Angeles decision to cancel the Tiny Home Village, Compton and Nevin project issued on July 6, 2022. 2, find that it is in the city's best interest not to proceed with the execution of the contract and rescind said contract approval for no cause. And 3, authorize the director of the Office of Accounting, upon request of the city engineer, to draw a demand in the amount of $32,223 payable to CS Legacy to settle any and all CS Legacy incurred costs associated with the cancellation of the project. And we have again Ms. Marina Quiñones on this item. Ms. Quiñones, welcome again.
Good morning again. Thank you, commissioners. So this request is to, we are requesting authority to not execute the construction contract and issue a final payment to CS Legacy for the Tiny Home Village, Compton and Nevin in CD9. The board awarded the project on May 25th. In June, the council office requested the project be canceled due to strong community opposition by teachers, parents, and students. The shelter would have been across the street from a middle school called Synergy Kinetic Academy at 6th through 8th grade. We briefed President Garcia and Vice President Villegas in July, and we then followed up with the contractor and issued a request, or not a request, my apologies, and issued a notice of intent to terminate the contract and requested the contractor submit a claim for cost incurred. The contractor submitted a claim for just over $600,000, which included loss of overhead profit for not being able to procure a project at the same cost. Our general conditions does not allow for this type of claim, and so we were able to negotiate a final cost of $32,223, which covers only direct cost, overhead, and a 5% profit. The CTAP funds for this project are being reprogrammed for other homeless projects. That concludes my report. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Quiñones, on that report. Colleagues, any question on this item? Dr. Davis?
Yes, the vendor that had already been selected, what is his status in terms of our future plans for helping to create a similar opportunity with this particular item?
So CS Legacy, we're also actually requesting for CS Legacy to be awarded later on today, item number 7 for another tiny home village. And that will go to CS Legacy. So they did have another opportunity for a project.
Great. And the concern that was raised by the community and the school was that they did not feel it would have been an appropriate relationship to have such a facility that near the school, given the children that are attending. I guess they were junior high school students. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is the primary concern. Children will be present all day.
I see. And did you have a new location selected already in terms of where the new, the old vendor will go?
So the CD9 has not provided another location. What we are going to do with the procured items from Compton and Nevin is that they're going to be sent to the Mission site. So 850 Mission is a new tiny home village. And so that project will receive all procured items from Nevin.
Great. Now, in terms of the funding source for this project, where do the funds for implementing this project come from?
So they are CTIEP funds, Commissioner Davis. So it's a sort of general fund, just a little bit more flexible. It can be reappropriated at the end of the fiscal year, but it is a general fund, CTIEP account.
So there is no relationship in terms of, was it HH or H funding in terms of this kind of a project?
Yeah, this project did not have HEAP, HAP, or Prop HHH funding.
So what I'm seeing in terms of those projects like this one that you're presenting to us is that a lot of the alternative funding as these that you mentioned in this item seems to be progressively in terms of those that you're presenting before the board. I'm not seeing the H or HHH or the utilization of those funds in what we're doing in homelessness. How does this item or is this item precluded from getting additional funds other than the flow of funds that you have identified?
So that would be a good CAO question. They are the ones who determine the funding. I know that some projects still do have HEAP and HAP funds, but this one specifically, they determined to fund through CTIEP.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dr. No problem. Thank you, Dr. Those are very good questions. Any other questions, colleagues? Hearing none. Ms. Quiñones, can you just state for the record why did we cancel this project?
CD9 requested the cancellation due to community opposition.
Correct. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, just wanted to make sure that it was not us doing the cancellation.
Correct.
Got it. All right. Any other questions, colleagues, comments, objections? Hearing none. Is there a motion on the table to approve item number 5 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. TJ, there's a first by Vice President Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 5 forward and forthwith.
Very good. We'll tabulate the vote beginning with you. President Garcia?
Aye.
Vice President Villegas?
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis?
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsand?
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes?
Aye.
Thank you. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Ms. Quiñones, but I think you are still here for one more, right?
Yes, I'll sit tight. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 6. This is a request from the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration, Council District 1, Contract Award CS Legacy Construction, Inc., West Lake MacArthur Park Pedestrian Improvement Project, Federal Project number CML-5006841, recommending the board to 1, declare Carbon Activated Corporation fourth low bidder to be non-responsive as discussed in this report. 2, declare CS Legacy Construction first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award CS Legacy a contract for the West Lake MacArthur Park Pedestrian Improvement Project for $1,145,103.24. And 3, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. And we have here Mr. Guillermo Barragan and as a tour. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
I didn't want to
Good morning,
chop up your
President.
name either.
Good morning, President. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Asatur Kemetian, Senior Architect with Bureau of Engineering, Architectural Division. I will be presenting this report on behalf of my Division Manager, Stephen Fierce. And I'm joined here with the Designer Project Manager, Guillermo Barragan, to help me answer any specific questions related to design. So the Westlake MacArthur Park Pedestrian Improvement Project is bounded by 3rd Street on the north, Union on the east, Olympic on the south, and Hoover and Rampart on the west. So Westlake Park falls somewhere in the center of this area scope. Project will provide 2.5 miles of pedestrian enhancements, 33 new pedestrian security lights, 41 bus benches, 41 trash receptacles, new landscape median island, 80 street trees, new concrete sidewalk, 10 continental crosswalks, and 4 new Americans with Disability Act compliant ramp access ramps. The contract duration is scheduled for 240 calendar days. The project has been determined to be categorically exempt. The lowest of the 4 bids received compared with the city engineer's estimate of $1,078,523 is CS Legacy for $1,145,103.24. Third lowest bidder, Access Pacific, listed their bid item amount for bid item number 24 incorrectly. Staff corrected Access bids item, and Access was contacted, notified of corrections. However, this correction did not change the bid outcome. The 4th lowest bidder, Carbon Activated Corporation, failed to indicate the unit prices for bid items 12 and 13, and is found to be non-responsive. Based on the range of bids submitted for this project, staff believes that the bid from CS Legacy is reasonable. This project is federally funded and is subject to city's DBE. Project was advertised with the DBE goal of 9%, and CS Legacy has satisfied this goal. CS Legacy has worked on a number of contracts issued by the board with no significant or unresolved problems in inspection, contract compliance, or bidder responsibility have been experienced by Bureau of Contract Administration. CS Legacy was requested to extend their bid bond, which expired in August 23 of 2022, and the contractor has agreed to extend the bid bond until September 23rd of 2022. Funding for the project comes from Transportation Grant Fund and Prop A Vision Zero Bus Stop Security Lighting Fund. This will conclude my presentation, and myself and Guillermo are ready to answer any questions you guys have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Asatur. Very nice and very well described your report. I'll flip it over to my colleagues right now. I'll go with my colleagues and I'll hold my question at the end then. Commissioner Corson.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Love it. Read through it. Just one question. It says bus benches, not bus shelters. So I'm assuming it's just uncovered bus benches. And if that's the case, and I hope it's not too late, but is there a way with the trees that are in the proposal to kind of match them up with the bus benches so there is at least some kind of shade at the bus benches and the stops? To the best that it's capable. I'm not saying like it should be, but I know sometimes it's an often overlooked piece, but to the best of where we can put trees close to bus benches, it would be great.
Yeah, we can certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, we can certainly take a look at that. I know we have designated approved locations already that were approved by Urban Forestry, but we can certainly try to see if we can maybe make some modifications, depending on the bus stop too. Depending where the bus benches will be located, there's certain distances and certain dimensions that we need to respect in regards to the bus stop. But we can definitely take a look at it. And again, yeah, shade is a very concern, especially with the heat wave we just had. Definitely, that would be a great something to look at.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Any other questions, colleagues? Mr. Asatur, I have a question. You have here declare CS Legacy your first recommendation. Can you explain to me why we're Were they the first? Were they the first bidder? I'm sorry.
They were found the lowest and most responsive bidder.
But they were not the first one. No, I'm sorry. Was there a recommendation number 1, declare carbon? Why are we putting the fourth low bidder on a recommendation? Can you explain to me recommendation number 1?
Okay, because carbon activated failed to include some unit prices. So this is the recommendation is to found them non-responsive and disqualify them.
Agreed. Okay. So then tell me what was CS Legacy? Was CS Legacy then the 5th, or were they the first?
I would have to, I'm not sure if Guillermo has those numbers, all the bid numbers, as far as the price, but I do know that they were the most responsive one and the lowest out of the responsive one. So I would have to check.
See, I have the bid results in front of me. Yeah, and CS Legacy is the lowest bidder.
But
what was Carbon's bid?
Yeah,
Carbon's bid was Carbon bid was 1.170 million, and CS Legacy was 1.145 million.
So can you clarify why we were recommending why did we actually put carbon activated as the fourth low bidder to be non-responsive? Was there a special situation with that, or usually we just say this is a first low bidder, approve it, and here we go. But I'm just trying to understand why we have number 1 as a declaration, to declare it. Was there a situation?
They were the lowest bidder originally, and so they're justifying why they didn't get selected. Is that right?
No, my understanding, Dr. Davis, is that they were not the lowest bidder. Actually, the CS Legacy is the lowest bidder. The reason we're listing them in the report is because they were not responsive. They failed to provide their prices.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense now. Thank you. I was just very confused a little bit about that. It made me think then was CS Legacy the 5th one, and then what happened to 1 to 3? You know, that kind. So it's just a little more context around that. Thank you for that, though.
But just for clarity, I believe there were only 4 bids.
Yes, there are only 4 bids.
Okay, got it. All right. Any other questions, colleagues, on this item? Objections? All right. Well, thank you very much. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 6 forward and forthwith?
So move.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second that.
Thank you, VP Villegas. TJ, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 6 forward and forthwith.
It's very good. We'll tabulate the vote, beginning with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas. I'm sorry, you're
Aye.
on mute. Thank you. President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Excellent. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Asatur and Mr. Varrican. Mr.
Thank you very much.
Was today your first presentation to the board?
I'm sorry, was that direct?
Was this your first presentation to the board?
No.
No, President. I've presented before.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, well, good. Well, you did a very good job. Thank you.
He presented last week when you weren't here.
Oh, that's
right.
what
Yeah.
Ago when you
Yeah, I
went to
remembered him from
Mongolia.
last week.
Yeah.
I don't think I had seen you. That's why it's the first time.
Yeah, I present the Vision Theater project, and I'll be coming back to you guys for Vision Theater again.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. You do very well. So thank you for your
Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you both. Have a good rest of the weekend, and looking forward to this project getting done.
Perfect.
Appreciate
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 7 on today's agenda. This is in Council District 14. This is a contract award, CS Legacy Construction, Inc., CD 14, Tiny Home Village, North Mission Road, recommending the board to 1, declare CS Legacy Construction, Inc., first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award CS Legacy a contract for this project for $2,821,410, and 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract After approval, as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. And 3, recommend the board to instruct CS Legacy to submit their bonds and insurance as soon as possible, but no later than 14 days. Well, I hope they're listening to us.
Good morning, commissioners, once again.
I apologize.
last item here.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Marina and President Garcia. We do have a speaker card under item number 7. So if you would like to take that now, or if you'd like to wait until after the staff presentation.
No, we'll take that now. I'm sorry.
Excellent. Okay, Dr. Williams, if you would please press *6 to unmute, and you'll have 2 minutes to provide commentary on item number 7.
Good morning. I'd prefer to have it after any presentation and before board consideration. That's the usual because I don't know the full development of the project at this time. So
thank you, Dr. Williams. So that's up to the discretion of the president. President Garcia, if you would like to have staff present first, or if you'd like to take public commentary first. And President already requested that public commentary be presented now. Is that accurate, President Garcia?
Yeah, I want to move forward with public comment, but it's usually we do public comment and then presentation. I think last Wednesday I missed the public comment and I held it after, but that's because I didn't have it on my notes. So we'll take public comment now.
Thank you, President Garcia. Go ahead, Dr. Williams. I'll restart your clock.
Oh, okay, or Dr. Tom, either one. The tiny homes, how many are there and how long will they be there? You also have a basic problem that the Board of Public Works meetings, such as this one, did not consider Lincoln Heights and Boyle Heights neighborhood councils, who have some considerable opinions regarding tiny homes. I myself, I support them. But this one is kind of an unusual location because it really needs to be relocated further north on the sites because it's next to a hazardous vapor recovery facility. And we're quite concerned regarding having a hazmat site along with tiny homes. So there's some logistic issues as to the bus stops are further north. The hazardous vapor facility needs to be protected from outsiders, and the outsiders need to be protected from the haz vapor on the site. I know the site very well because I've collected a lot of compost and mulch from that site. And where are you going to put the compost mulch once you put the tiny homes in? So it needs to be changed, needs to be moved further north, and you have the property all the way to the entrance to the metro. So it's a question as to change the location further north, or isolate or shut down the soil ventilation system and provide the neighborhood councils with your best guess at least 6 weeks before you bring it to vote.
2 minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Williams, for your comment. Ms. Quiñones.
Good morning again. Thank you for your comments, Dr. Williams. I could address them later. President Garcia gives me that time. So the report today, the award board report, is for CD14 Tiny Home Village on 850 North Mission. This will be CD14's third tiny home village. CS Legacy was the lowest of 3 bids. They came in about 8% below the city engineer's estimate. Construction duration for the project will be 98 calendar days. It is a design build contract. The site is located in Council District 14 along if you see the image in your board report, it is along North Mission on a site used by LA San, current Los Angeles Sanitation. They currently store bins on this site. The site will provide 74 sleeping cabins for up to 144 beds. Same amenities as all tiny home villages. It will have hygiene, laundry, case management, and outdoor communal areas. The cost per bed is about $30,000. Pretty average for most tiny home villages that do not have a substantial amount of site improvement. For this award, you will notice that though the board did waive BIP requirements, CS Legacy has pledged to use subcontractors who will fulfill BIP requirements. Funding for the project is provided by HAP, the Homeless Housing Assistance Prevention. This is round 2 of federal funds. A town hall meeting is also planned in the next few weeks by the council office. And that concludes that portion of my report. President Garcia, would you like me to address Dr. Williams' concerns?
Yes, please, if you can.
Sure. So Dr. Williams, currently we have 10 completed tiny home villages. Currently lease agreements with providers are between 3 to 5 years. Those are the 2 questions you had. Now, in regards to the toxicity of just the location, we did have conversations with LA San. The placement of the tiny home village, if you look at the report, is away from the locations you're referring to. This specific site is not, it is within the industrial area, but there's no toxic substance or building or any processing in the area for the shelter. So that is the information that I have from LA San, who owns the site, and also our GEO group.
Thank you, Ms. Quinones, for addressing that. And if there are any other more questions, I invite Mr. Williams to contact our board or directly Ms. Quinones for any more information. Vice President Villegas.
Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Quinones, for your report. One question that still remains unanswered. Will the mulch still be available at the site by LA San?
Yeah, so everything within the site, the bin storage and any operations will be moved elsewhere. They would have to contact LA San to know where those services would be provided.
Okay. Just so you know, because we're presenting and it's a public meeting today for transparency purposes, that area is a big community benefit. So when you're presenting, just make sure LA San provides you that information so that we can share it with the public.
Okay.
And it is, and I'm just going to state this again for the record. This is the 3rd shelter for CD14 who's taken the brunt of these. Yes. I know I'm not blaming you, Ms. Quinones. I just like making that for the record. And, you know, as someone who used to not, I don't live in that community anymore, but as somebody who used to drive by that area all the time, the mulch is a big service for the community. So I'm disheartened that it's not going to be there anymore, but I look forward to hearing where it will be located.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Good point. I would also suggest that as you do construction and that gets removed, please put a sign there where constituents can go and get mulch. I do concur with Vice President Villegas. That's a very important benefit that sanitation does to a lot of folks. I know personally I have a mulch distribution from sanitation 5 minutes from my house, and it's very well attended and people love it. And if we were to move it, I don't know, we would have an uproar too. So I just want to make sure that you put a sign, find out, and make sure that people are redirected to where the mulch is going to be handed out now.
Thank you for that. I'll make sure to communicate with LA San.
And I want to thank specifically also Dr. Williams that brought that up today. So thank you, Honorable Dr. Williams, for making sure that we paid attention to that. Dr. Davis.
Yes, some issues were raised about the community input. I was glad to hear that the 14th District Council office is involved in a town hall meeting. And in many ways, that kind of includes the residents who would want to have input. Is that the process that we normally go through for each council district when you're doing these projects, or is this just the 14th district advancing this effort to be included?
CD14 actually has been able to rally a lot of support in their district, and that's why they probably have 3 and are looking for more sites. So they do have a lot of support, but they have rallied that support. Other council districts have other ways of rallying and, proceeding with community outreach. And so it really does vary, President Davis, on the, Dr. Davis, it really varies on the community outreach each district takes. And from what we've seen, each district takes a different path for that.
Well, certainly we can't tell council what to do, but this approach seems to be one in which is inclusive of various groups. And of course, neighborhood councils would be included in an invitation from the council office as well. When they have a town hall meeting, it would include the neighborhood groups, the block clubs, etc. So definitely note it as a great effort to have inclusiveness.
And thank you, Dr. Davis, for that as well. Any other questions, colleagues? Concerns? Or objections? Hearing none, is there a motion on the table to move item number 7 forwards and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. TJ, there's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Reyes to move item number 7 forward and forthwith.
Very good. We'll begin tabulating the vote with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Thank you. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great. Thank you, TJ, for that. Thank you, Ms. Quinones. I think that is the last of your items for today, right?
Yes, thank you so much. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Thank you. All right, colleagues, moving on to our oral report section. We are now towards the end of our reports, and we have the status update on major upcoming street improvement projects for item number 8 from the Bureau of Street Services. And who do we have here today? Thinking Mr. Bingaman?
Yes, ma'am. Good
All
morning,
right.
board. How's it today?
Good, good. Good to see you, sir. I hope we can highlight you. Where are you? I don't see you anymore. There you are.
Yeah, my camera's on.
Here we go. Sorry about that. It took me a minute to spotlight. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Bingaman and President Garcia. We do have a speaker card on this item. Dr. Williams, if you would like to take the speaker card now, or if you'd like to wait until after the presentation.
We'll take it now, TJ.
Very good. Dr. Williams, if you would please press *6 to unmute, and you will have 2 minutes to offer commentary on this item, item number 8.
Good morning again. A similar comment regarding, I'd prefer, and I think it's usual custom to have the comments after the presentation. But anyway, for item 8, 3, 4, and 7, CDs don't count as far as the neighborhood councils deal with, because the CDs usually never notify us as to meetings coming up if you notify them. A monthly schedule from the Board of Public Works should be given to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and give it to them so that they can coordinate with the respective neighborhood councils. Neighborhood councils are there to help. They are not there to hinder, but they need to be kindly informed as to what's coming up in their district from your actions. So when you start a proposal at BOE or BE or BSE or any other bureau level, please notify the affected neighborhood council. It's on ZEMIS. All of the parcels have a designated neighborhood council, and all you have to do is look at ZEMIS. So please notify the neighborhood councils in addition to the council districts. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Williams, for public comment. Mr. Bingaman.
Okay, so this information is being provided to keep the public informed on upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays to commuters. Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. There are no major street improvement projects scheduled in the metro region during the week of September 18th, 2022 through September 24th, 2022. The following major street project is scheduled in the Valley Resurfacing region during the week of September 18th, 2022 through September 24th, 2022. On Saturday, September 11th, 2022 through Sunday, September 25th, 2022, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will begin cold milling and paving Foothill Boulevard from Hillhaven Avenue to Jardine Avenue in CD7, Sunland Tahunga Neighborhood Council Pavement Preservation Program Fund. Additionally, we will provide an update on our 2022-2023 Pavement Preservation Program. During the week of September 18th, 2022 through September 24th, 2022, the Metro region will complete 9 projects for a total of 8.70 lane miles. During the same week, the Valley region will complete 14 projects for a total of 8.98 lane miles. The press releases were broadcast and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council district offices to assist in the outreach to the stakeholders, and we have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on the Streets LA website. For additional information or concerns, you can contact Sherrod Nichols at 213-847-3200. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingaman, for that report. Any questions, colleagues? And thank you for your service, Mr. Bingaman, and to the crews out there doing the hard work. Please thank them on our behalf, and we look forward to more reports like this. Thank you.
I'll let them know, and thank you guys very much.
All right, have a good weekend, sir.
You as well.
All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 9, but I think we have an announcement. TJ Knight?
Yes, yes, thank you, President Garcia. We do have a request from the Office of Forest Management Manager to, oops, did I remove Garcia from Spotlight? Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No, the funny thing is that I was counting missing.
I gasped because I thought I had removed you from the meeting, and that would be terrible. So sorry about that. At least it was.
I was wondering what commissioner was missing, and I was looking at the screen. Sorry about that.
Didn't realize it was you. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was me. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yes, to go back to what I was saying, we do have a request from the Office of Forest Management to continue this item until September 28th due to an illness, an unexpected illness, in which she is out of the office today.
Okay, got it. Any objections, colleagues? Seeing none, item number 9 will be continued to September 28th, 2022. All right.
Thank you.
I think that brings us to the end of today's meeting. TJ Knight, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, we have.
Great. Colleagues, it is now 11:29, September 26th, and this meeting is officially adjourned. 5 minutes, and then we'll do a quick check-in for management meeting. Thank you, and see you soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the weekend, everyone that's joining us today.
Thank you.